All right, welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel. My name is Chris, and I'm here to bring you guys the high rev perspective.
And my name is Josh, and I'll be bringing the low rev perspective.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new 900 Global Viking Conquest, and I'm going to be comparing that to the Paragon Shadow and the Hammer Black Widow Dynasty.
And I'll be comparing it to the Hammer Zero Mercy Solid and the Hammer Spawn. These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. With that being said, we are here at Bolero Mesa on a fresh house shot, so make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys out on the lanes.
This ball is a lot slower down lane than I thought it was going to be. The original Viking I thought was actually pretty quick to fix, so I wasn't sure how kind of weak or strong they were going to go with this one. But to me, this almost feels like an Ion Max with how slow it was down lane. It felt like it got down a little bit further down the lane, a little bit further than something like an Ion Max, but honestly just as slow and forward off the pattern, off the end of the pattern, which I was a fan of, honestly. Ball reaction looked pretty good here. Typically with stronger equipment like this, I can't really get a ball to make the corner the right way to make it go through the pins, but this one looked pretty good even with how forward it was. I didn't flat 10 a single time, so that tells me that this ball is pretty good, especially when it's in the oil and I was able to move left. I didn't have any problems kicking out the 10 pin, so I think this ball was pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the track Paragon Shadow and see how that compares. This one has been one of my favorite strong and smooth balls that I've thrown in the recent past, so I typically like to throw the stronger pieces against this one. It's not the strongest strong and smooth ball, but it is super forward and tumbly off the end of the pattern, and that's what I really like about it. And they are fairly similar when coming off the end of the pattern. I do have a little bit of lane shine because I've been using the Paragon Shadow a little bit. I haven't touched it with surface in a while, so definitely wanted to float just a little bit more than the Viking Conquest, but overall, off the end of the pattern going through the pins, they're both pretty tumbly and pretty forward, so those are pretty similar in that way. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Black Widow 3.0 Dynasty and see how that compares. All right, to me, I think the 3.0 Dynasty is definitely the weakest out of these three. Even though it's a pretty strong bowling ball, I felt like compared to the Paragon Shadow, it wanted to float down the lane pretty similarly, but honestly, just an overall weaker shape off the end of the pattern. I definitely have some games on this one, so it's pretty smooth now. Out of box, this one was pretty quick off of it and really wanted to go through the pins, but now I needed to play a little bit further to the right and kind of slow down my ball speed to really kind of see it shaped the right way. It just doesn't want to read in the oil quite as much as the other two, especially the Viking Conquest. That one really has the teeth to want to see it in the oil, and the Black Widow Dynasty definitely was a little weaker and needed to use a little bit more of the friction. All right, final thoughts on the Viking Conquest. Personally, I thought this ball motion was really good, especially for it being a pretty early strong and smooth ball. It wanting to float a little bit more than in the front part of the lane makes it feel like it's going to be pretty versatile and usable, especially even for someone with a little bit higher rev rate. It's not quite as early as something like an Ion Max, with something I kind of struggled with to get it through the front part of the lane. This felt a little bit cleaner than that, but still strong and smooth and predictable off the end of the pattern. So I really liked it. I'm going to give this one a fire. I really like the ball motion.
For me, this ball looks very dull out of box, and first couple of shots I could instantly tell that this ball was very big and very dull. There's other big balls I brought today. I knew they were going to roll early here at Bolero Mesa. They tend to hook here, especially on lane one, but this ball hooked even more, so I definitely made a quick adjustment left. But once I got into that zone, that ball performed. Holy moly. I felt like I had the whole world. I felt like I could miss in, miss a little out, even miss it off my hand a little bit, and the ball still was strong enough to kick out the 10, and I didn't feel like I had to worry about, forcing the ball to do the right thing for such a big ball, which I really, really loved. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Hammer Zero Mercy Solid and see how it compares. For me, this ball is kind of in the similar zone, but I feel like this ball was a little bit more forward of a rolling shape. I can see myself throwing this when I need to play maybe a little bit straighter with a big ball, kind of something on like short. Just definitely felt like it was a little bit more tumbly overall. So it's definitely still in that big ball category. Definitely don't really need both of these in the bag in my opinion, but just a slight difference. I would say, however, I was comfortable more with the Viking just because I felt like it gave me a little bit more miss room overall. And I just, again, for new ball carry, whatever you want to call it, this ball just rolled the right way out of box for me. So now we're going to go ahead and throw 5 shots with the hammer spawn and see how it compares. For me, this ball was definitely a step down of a ball in my opinion. I felt like it was a smoother big ball where the other two were definitely more like kind of hook early to the friction and try to hook right away, where the spawn I felt like it had a floatiness to it. Basically, I felt like I was able to clear the fronts a little bit easier with this ball, and for me that allowed me just to kind of soften up a little bit because I didn't have to really make sure my speed was up to get through it. However, again, just making sure that I did get it to friction was key though, just because if I didn't get it there, I didn't really want to quite shape like the other balls did. So definitely, like I said, a step down. I can see myself going to this once the other balls just kind of are just too big. Final thoughts on the Viking Conquest. For me, this ball, like I said, I liked the original Viking, and I'm actually kind of shocked they went on the duller side with this one, but I felt like it was the right call. I felt like it was just quick enough to friction to where you could really expect the 10 to get out every time, but definitely in the big ball category, I would group it with the Ion Maxes or like a Gem, or on, even in my opinion, I felt like it was almost quicker, just overall hooked more than even a Zero Mercy Solid. So for me today, I'm gonna give this ball a nuts. I felt like this ball just gave me miss room and felt like I could really do anything I wanted to, other than play straight. But once, like I said, with a big ball, typically there's gonna be some sort of oil that allows you to play straighter, so something like that is totally fine. So definitely a nuts for today.
Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.